Well, I think it's time we make our way out of here. Zabras, thank you for everything. But before we go, I wanted to say this. You don't have to stay here in hiding anymore. Things are moving, and we're setting up a base of operations in Amlarun, off the west coast of Ouroros. It's secure, fortified, and it's a place where you can finally be part of something bigger again. When you arrive, tell them you'll be acting as Lord Tanavir's right hand. No one will question it, and you'll have the freedom to do what you do best, planning, preparing, and let's face it, being the genius you are.
I'm not sure about genius. Everything I am I owe to you, which is why I'm still doing what I'm doing.
Regardless, it's time to come out of the shadows, Zabras. The world's changing, and we need people like you front and center for what's to come.
Ah, well, that's a change of pace. I suppose that's good news, isn't it? Amlarun, you say? I've always preferred the coast. Less snow, more sun. All right then, I'll head there straight away. Be nice to have some company for once that isn't made of goo and magical weirdness.
Okay, so Zabras clicks his fingers, and the mansion evaporates around you, and you're back at the base of the butt-crack mountain, the cold wind howling through the jagged peaks. The frosty air bites at your skin and begins chafing Raarh's nipples once more.
Fucking hell.
A harsh reminder of just how sheltered the mansion had been. Zabras stands a few steps ahead, the faint hum of residual magic still clinging to him like an aura.
How do you plan on getting there anyway? It's a long distance.
Oh, that's easy. I'm just going to do, this.
His fingers snap together sharply, and the sound ripples outward, bending the air around him in strange, unnatural ways. The shimmer grows, but not explosively. This is not magic flaunted for spectacle. It's deliberate, precise, like an artist's brushstroke. The air around him twists, folding inward, as though the fabric of the world is giving way. Then, with a sound like the crack of distant thunder, Zabras is gone. The space where he stood is empty, save for a faint, lingering static in the air that raises the hairs on your arms.
Oh, okay.
Fucking show off.
Not sure what you expected, Saxy.
All right, so I guess we're making our way to the Frost Giants. To die, most likely. Ugh. I could think of a million places I'd rather die than this frozen arse end of the world.
How about a nice little beach frontier on the east coast of Ouroros?
So, Alden, what exactly is a blade singer? Are you like a bard like me, but instead of playing a triangle, you sing into your blade or something?
Not quite. There's no actual singing involved, no serenading my sword or belting out battle hymns mid-swing. It's more an art form, a tradition, a way of blending precise martial skill with arcane magic into something fluid, something alive. Picture a duelist, someone who spent years mastering the blade, refining every movement to perfection. Now take that and infuse it with magic, not as an afterthought, not as a crutch, but as part of the motion itself.
That just sounds like what I do.
Oh, and what are you?
I'm an artificer.
Oh yeah, then yeah, it is a bit similar. Except, well, with blade singing, it's more about a seamless connection between the body and the magic. Like, it's innate, almost instinctual. The magic doesn't come from tools or devices. I mean, not to say that tools, devices, and artificing isn't, impressive. It's just different, very different. But both are equally valid.
Sounds like you're saying better.
No, not at all. Just more personal, I guess. Not that artificing isn't personal. I mean, your gadgets are clearly, well, yours. It's just, okay, this isn't coming out how I wanted it to. I'm sorry, you're right. It does sound similar. Let's leave it at that.
Smooth.
This whole thing just feels strange to me. It's not like you're a real person we stumbled across or saved. You're
a real person. He's real, Celestia. As real as me. As real as anyone. Just because he was created differently doesn't make him anything less. I know what you're trying to say, but it's not that simple. I should know. And you should know better.
I didn't mean it like that. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it, that's all. Sorry, Alden.
Hey, it's all right. I get it. It's not something you see every day. I'm not offended by it. I'd probably have questions too if I were in your shoes.
Yeah, long as he can swing that sword and not get us killed, I couldn't care where he popped out of.
Yeah, truly though. Welcome to the group, Alden. Trust me, we're all a little weird. Fits right in with the job description.
All right, Joe, I've got a really good idea here. I'm going to cast divination. I say to Suni, if we continue to the Frost Giants, will they help us achieve our goal?
The air around you feels colder as you clutch your holy symbol. the frost biting at your skin, seemingly retreating for a moment as the warmth of Suni begins to flow through you. The faint pink glow radiates from your hands, casting soft, hopeful light against the jagged, frost-bitten rocks of the mountain base. It feels like a tiny flame in the heart of a frozen wilderness, fragile but steady, but then it falters. The light stutters like a heartbeat skipping in fear. The warmth you've relied on for so long begins to seep away, leaving your hands feeling emptier than they've ever been. The glow doesn't simply dim, it fractures, splintering into jagged cracks of pale light that spread across the symbol before disappearing entirely. Then the pressure comes. It's not physical, but it feels like the mountain itself has shifted, leaning into you with a weight that's impossible to resist. The wind dies suddenly, unnervingly silent. Your holy symbol grows heavier in your hand, the chill biting deep into your fingers as if it no longer recognizes your touch. And then, there's the absence. It's not just the loss of light or warmth, it's the severing of something fundamental. That constant, unshakable thread that tied you to Sune is gone. Not frayed, not strained, but severed cleanly.
No, what just happened? What's going on? This isn't right.
So, did it work?
No, it didn't fucking work. I can't feel her connection anymore. It's gone. It's like she's stripped me of everything.
Wait, hold on. Whose connection?
Sune's, her connection to me. It's like she's abandoned me.
Okay, don't panic. Just try cast something simple. Test it.
Yeah, divination is a powerful spell. Maybe there was something compromising it.
All right, slightly panicking, I cast guidance on Tronald.
So, do I feel any different?
Nope, nothing happens. There's no spark, no flicker, no divine touch. It's as if the spell never existed.
Nothing. There's nothing. She's gone.
Just chill out, woman. You lot, well, you're all spell-casting people. Try cast something. See if it works. I'm no intellectual, but it could be something in the air.
Oh yeah, true. Okay, one of you guys cast something.
All right, fine. I'll try something simple. Joe, I cast light.
Oh no.
A soft glow radiates from Tronald's fingertip, illuminating the area around him with a faint golden hue. The frost glitters like tiny stars in the light.
Well, mine works. Who's next?
Our turn. My turn.
Okay.
Eldritch Blast.
The blast of energy streaks into the air, dissipating harmlessly but undeniably functional.
So I cast Booming Blade onto my short sword.
Alden, you flourish your blade, the faint shimmer of arcane energy coiling around the steel before dissipating with a soft, crackling sound.
Firebolt.
A streak of flame erupts from Saxy's hand, cutting through the cold air before burning out harmlessly against a distant patch of frost-covered rock.
Looks like I'm good too. So no. There's no weird air here, Raarh.
All right, so it's not the air. Guess it really is a you problem, Celestia.
I'm so confused.
Yep, she's completely abandoned you.
I just don't know why.
You must have really pissed her off.
I don't understand. I've never once strayed from where I thought she was leading me.
Well, I suppose that's why it's good to get your magic from books, weird black puddings and gadgets. No divine drama to deal with.
Will you shut the fuck up and let her speak?
All right. No need to get all fiery about it, forehead dick man.
I just stare at the ground, my grip tightening on my symbol as my breath comes in shallow, uneven gasps.
Celestia, is there any reason why Sune might...
I mean, on the bright side, one door closes and another opens, right? She didn't deserve you anyway. You can do better.
Come on, man.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Celestia, seriously. Is there any reason Sune might be upset with you? Anything you might have done or even thought that could have annoyed her? I mean, gods are fickle sometimes, right? Could it be something you didn't even realize was a big deal?
No, nothing. I mean, there was, but that was before the airship, and I had her blessing at that point. I felt her. She was guiding me, telling me I was going in the right direction. There hasn't been a single issue until we met Zabras.
You're blaming him?
No! I'm saying I was fine until just now. The only thing I can think of is that we're going down a path she refuses to assist with.
Huh? You mean rescuing my dad?
No, I mean the Eterians. Collecting them all, not destroying them. I don't think she wants them to be collected, to exist.
Well, that's a giant goddamn assumption right there. And even if that was the case and she doesn't want us doing this, it's what needs to be done. I mean, who even is this Sune? What impact has she ever had on this world?
I don't know, maybe every time I've healed you? Every spell I've ever used to save your ungrateful ass?
No, Celestia, that's not her power. That's you. You've saved them because you wanted to, because you had the strength and the will to do it. That healing, that magic, that came from you, not her.
Thanks for the emotional fucking support, Alden. But no, it's not me. It's never been me. I'm nothing without her. Nothing.
Okay, then. I'll just take a step back, Joe.
You said something happened before the airship? What was that?
Nothing, it doesn't matter.
I'm pretty sure it does, Celestia. We share everything with each other now. That's the new rule. No more secrets. We know about Saxy's parents, what they were working on. We know about Mite's, black pudding situation. We know about Raarh's family and his sword and what all of that means to him. But you, I take a step toward her, Joe, as I realize something I haven't thought about until now. We don't know much about you, do we? Not really. Why were you even at Rick's Manor when you were? Why did you join us in the first place? And more importantly, what are you keeping from us? What happened before the airship that's got you so rattled now?
Tronald, let it go. She doesn't have to tell us if she doesn't want to. Whatever's eating at her, it's hers to share, or not.
You're right, she doesn't. But sometimes saying nothing leaves room for the mind to fill the gaps with something far worse than the truth. Silence doesn't make the questions go away. It just makes them louder.
I take a deep breath, clutching my holy symbol tightly as my gaze sweeps across all of you, my voice trembling. I knew about you all before I met you. Sune came to me months before that day at Rick's Manor. She hinted, no, she warned, that someone of great importance had resurfaced. She told me you needed me, that without me, your path would only lead to ruin. Not just yours, but the ruin of this entire world. And I believed her. I trusted her. So I went. And I gave my life for you all. Or have you already forgotten that? I lift my head, my voice shaking with a mix of anger and hurt. I sacrificed myself. For the short time I knew you, I saw that you were good people. I loved you, all of you. And deep down, I know Sune must have known that would happen, that I would give everything for you. So I did it. I let go. I felt her embrace in that moment when I was dying, you know. It was warm, comforting, and she whispered to me. She whispered, "You have done well." And I thought that was enough. That I'd done what she wanted of me. That I'd fulfilled my purpose. But then I came back. You brought me back. And since that moment, I've felt it. That distance. Like I wasn't hers anymore. Like she begrudged me for defying her plan. She didn't embrace me. I felt her absence, her rejection. And then, the airship. For the first time since my rebirth, I felt her glow again. Her light. It was like she was welcoming me back. Like I was hers again. But now it's gone. And I don't know what I've done to lose it all over again. A single tear escapes, trailing down my cheek as I turn away from the group, unable to face them. My voice trembles as I try to speak, but can't find the words to explain what I'm feeling inside.
I take a step closer. It's okay, Celestia. You're a good person. Seriously, out of all of us, you're probably the most aligned. The best of us.
The tears come faster now, my voice breaking as I shake my head. It's not okay, Tronald. You don't understand.
Then help us understand.
I turn back to the group, pulling at my top to reveal the mark etched into my skin, just below my sternum. A 9-pointed star buried within a 13-pointed star, the lines faintly glowing. He marked me! I didn't think it meant anything at the time, but now I feel like she thinks I want him to succeed. And that's just not the case. You know that. All of you know that. I've done everything to stop him, so why? So why doesn't she see it? Why doesn't she believe me?
Celestia, you think she loved you, don't you? That she cherished you like a parent does their child. That every blessing, every moment of her presence was proof of her devotion. But let me tell you something. Gods don't love us. They never have. They never will. They use us. They position us like pieces on a chessboard, valuing us only for how well we play the role they've assigned us. Maybe they favor a bishop over a pawn, but don't kid yourself into thinking they care about the pieces beyond the game. You were a well-positioned pawn, Celestia. Useful, important, until you weren't. But you don't have to be a pawn. You don't need to let her control you. If she doesn't want you, if she's so blind as to turn away from someone who's given everything for her, then you don't need her. Just like Raarh said. Live for yourself, Celestia, not for her. You've already proved your worth time and time again. To me, to us, to this world. You're not nothing without her. You're everything. You don't need her light to shine, because the strength that's carried us through every battle didn't come from her. It came from you.
I didn't realize you despise God so much, Tronald.
I don't despise them, Saxy. I despise their lies, their claims of nobility, their illusion of selflessness, all masking a truth so glaringly selfish it borders on cruelty. They call themselves noble, divine. They ask for faith, for devotion, for everything. And they offer what in return? A fleeting sense of purpose? A glow of approval that vanishes the moment you stop being useful? They call it love, but it's not. It's manipulation, dressed in gilded robes.
Still, I've never really heard you express that before.
Maybe being reunited with Zabras has made some of my feelings as Lord Tanavir come back.
Thank you. Seriously, I mean that so much, but with this, I pull my top up again, revealing the strange mark etched into my skin. I don't even know what it means, and without my magic, I'm just a danger to you all. If I can't help, then what am I even doing here?
Nah, you're not a danger. You're awesome. Magic or no magic, you're still you. And you know what? You're good company too. So chin up, Celestia. We'll figure out what this mark means.
All right. So, does anyone have any bright ideas on how to even start figuring it out?
Well, I suppose if someone had a direct line to a god, they could just ask about it. That's always the cleanest route. But if that's not an option, the next best thing would be someone who studies this sort of thing, an archmage, or perhaps the equivalent among the clergy. They'd know how to identify it.
We might not need any of that. Joe, I'm going to cast augury. I ask, is this mark a bad thing?
Well, what do you mean? Because the spell limits the outcome to the next 30 minutes.
I mean, like it being there, in general, or for the next 30 minutes or whatever. Let's say she were to embrace the mark, whatever it is, which I'm not saying is even possible or advisable. Would that be a bad thing?
Okay. The icy wind howls around you, biting at your face as you hold your focus on the spell. But as the spell takes hold, there's a shift. A subtle warmth begins to radiate through the air, faint at first, but unmistakable. It doesn't come from the sun, or the rocks, or even from within. It feels otherworldly. The heat washes over you, Tronald, as though someone has placed a comforting hand on your shoulder. It lingers, soothing and calm, cutting through the freezing cold like a protective embrace. It's not just physical, it's a sense of reassurance, a wordless answer carried on the warmth itself.
It's not bad. Whatever it means, it's not harmful. If anything, it might even be something good.
How could it be something good? I've lost my god, Tronald, and I've been marked by the enemy, or at least our end goal enemy, even if we've kind of made a truce for now.
That's exactly my point, Celestia. Sure, Sune could offer you power, but what kind of power? Power that's conditional, tied to her approval, power that she can take away the moment you don't fit into her plan anymore? But think about this for a second. Maybe, just maybe, Visuriel, the grandson of Asmodeus, can offer you that same power, but tailor-made, more suited to what we're trying to accomplish. He wants those Eterians. He wants us to get them. And the best way for us to do that? It's having you, our healer, our awesome Celestia, at maximum capability. I'll even go as far as to say this. From what I know about him, I think he knew she would abandon you. He knew Sune would turn her back on you the moment you stepped outside her narrow little plan. And he placed that mark there, not to control you, not to twist you into something you're not, but to show you something. To show you that you don't need her power, that you can rise above it, that when the gods abandon you, you don't crumble, you fight. This isn't a curse, Celestia. It's an opportunity, one that's been waiting for you to see it.
I really don't know how I feel about this. Let's just pretend for a second that he can give me my power back. What then? What happens when, in the end, he betrays us? When he doesn't need us anymore? At best, he could remove it, strip me of everything again. At worst, maybe he could do something much, much worse.
I think the worst he could do is remove it from you. And honestly, the path we're taking isn't one that's ever going to fall under the jurisdiction of the almighty divine gods. They won't want it to happen. But that's the thing, Celestia. We know more than they do. We've seen the cracks in their plans, the blind spots they refuse to acknowledge. I've had insight, Celestia. Insight into my son. Insight into the Akashic records themselves. And I know this is what needs to be done, whether they approve or not. I trust him over any god. And when the time comes, When she understands that we were right all along, you can go back to her. You can switch back to Sune, and she'll take you. I know she will.
I'm not sure switching between who you worship is as easy as changing clothes, Tronald. Pretty sure gods hold grudges.
Maybe, but regardless, my point still stands. We have a path, and it doesn't need their approval. It just needs us.
Well, I can ask a god if you want, or at least the closest thing to one.
Oh, if you're gonna say yourself, please just stop. This is serious.
I am being serious! Joe, I press the flat edge of my blade of Nepthet-Ka onto Celestia's stomach. Please, I know this isn't your usual thing, but what do you detect from this mark? Help me understand.
The blade hums faintly in your hands, Raarh, as if it's coming to life in response to your plea. Make a persuasion check.
That's a 12. Not great.
+5. Flash of genius. You've got this, big guy.
All right, that's 17 then.
And let's add a little something extra, plus a D8 from Bardic Inspiration.
22. Now we're talking.
The blade's hum grows louder, resonating in your hands, Raarh. The air around Celestia shimmers faintly, and for the briefest moment, you feel something, an otherworldly presence brushing against the edges of your mind.
Thy mark, it holds power, not good nor evil, but raw, unsettlingly so. It doth not bind nor restrict thee, but instead, it only expands. It is a key, a door yet unopened, a force yet untamed. This sigil, this mark, 'tis not of ruin, but of choice. It whispers of potential untold. Yet tread carefully, for such power is ever a double-edged blade, and the path it promises may lead thee into shadow or into light, depending on thine own hand.
Well, that was something. Did you catch all that?
No?
All right, well, from what I understood, your mark isn't bad. Not good either, just raw power. It's not there to hold you back. It's supposed to, I don't know, expand you, make you stronger or something. It's not about being punished, more like giving you options. Like it's a door waiting to be opened, but you've got to decide if you're stepping through it.
Expand me? A door?
Yeah, something like that. Nepthet said it's not binding you or controlling you. It's just amplifying what's already there. What you do with it, that's on you. It's about your choices, not some gods. That's the gist of it.
Oh, so you're on a first-name basis with him now?
As a matter of fact, yes, I am. Nepthet-Ka and I, we go way back. He loves my work.
Oh, does he now? Did he happen to mention his favorite piece? Maybe the time you drew a dick on my forehead in permanent ink.
You don't half whinge, man.
So that's a good sign, right? I mean, both my spell and Raarh's sword suggest positivity. Seems like the universe, or whatever, is trying to tell you something.
I don't know. I still don't know. It feels like everything's shifting under my feet, and I can't tell what's solid anymore.
Well, Celestia, you've got to do what's right for you. Nobody should force you into anything. Not gods, not marks, not us. This is your path, and you have the right to choose it freely. You don't have to decide right this second. Take your time. We're here for you, no matter what you choose. Just remember, your worth isn't tied to anyone else's plans. Not Sune's, not Vizuriel's. It's yours.
Oh, gods, are you always this wholesome? Like, is that your thing? Your contribution?
I find that kindness and compassion are like the sunlight breaking through a storm, Raarh. The world is already full of darkness and struggle, so why not be the light that helps others find their way?
Right. Well, I like it.
So, what are you thinking, Celestia? From experience, I can tell you it's not all bad. I mean, yeah, he can be a little annoying at times, always in my ear with, do this, do that, eat that guy. But overall, he's a cool dude, real chill.
Right. Because having a literal black pudding whispering sweet nothings into your brain is exactly the same as her situation. Totally comparable, but hey, what do I know?
I know that no matter the situation, a little support can go a long way.
Oh my God.
All right. We're all talking about whether I should do this or not, but the truth is, we don't even know what it is. I guess I'll give it a go. Sometimes you've just got to take a risk. Joe, I place my hand against my stomach, fingers trembling slightly as they press against the mark. I close my eyes and focus, trying to channel the magical energy through me, surrendering to it, accepting Vizuriel's touch, his guidance, his power.
All right, then. So, as you are all watching, the moment Celestia presses her hand to the mark, it's like the world explodes around her. With a deafening crack, the icy air is ripped apart by a pulse of energy that radiates outward from her body, throwing frost and debris into the air. The glow of the mark burns brilliantly, searing through her skin like molten gold before erupting into a blaze of shadow and flame. Her hair, once radiant with a golden hue, turns jet black in an instant. The strands whipping wildly. Her eyes snap open, no longer their familiar color but tinted with an orange glow. Like magma trickling through cracks in the Earth's crust. A violent pulse erupts outward, a shockwave of raw energy that slams into all of you like a hammer. The force sends you skidding back, boots scraping against the frost-bitten ground. The earth beneath Celestia shatters, jagged cracks ripping outward like veins of fractured ice, frost retreating from her very existence as if terrified to remain in her presence. The humming starts, a deep thrumming that settles into your bones, vibrating through the frozen air. It grows louder, louder, louder. It reaches a deafening peak, the kind of sound that makes your teeth ache, the kind that presses against your skull like something is trying to burrow into your mind. And then, nothing. Silence. Complete. Crushing. Before whoomp! A detonation of black fire engulfs Celestia in an instant, swallowing her whole in a column of twisting, writhing flames that burn with no heat but consume everything within their reach. It lingers for too long, long enough to make you wonder if she's even still there, if she's been erased entirely, if she was ever there to begin with. Then just as suddenly as it came, the fire vanishes, and she lays there, motionless. Her eye cracks open, just one, and you all stare at her, and the fires of hell stare back.
I rush forward and kneel beside her. Celestia, are you okay? How do you feel?
How do I feel, Joe?
Well, as you sit up slowly, you search yourself for any trace of pain or weakness. There's nothing. No exhaustion, no divine scorn, just balance.
I feel absolutely fine. I reach up and grab a handful of my hair. My breath catches as I see the strands, jet black against my fingers. What? I scramble to my feet, my gaze darting wildly before catching the sheen of a puddle, melted frost pooling in the cracked ground from the burst of power. I step closer, peering into my own reflection, and what stares back is not what I expect.
Why don't you try cast something, see if it works?
Okay, I cast guidance on Alden.
The moment you focus on the spell, it's different. There's no familiar warmth of divine magic washing over you, no gentle guiding touch from Sune. Instead, it's instantaneous. A surge of energy, like the world itself is bending to your will rather than answering a prayer. The air hums faintly, and Alden's form is briefly outlined in the same flickering orange glow that lingers in your eyes.
All right, let's see if it works. I'll do a flourish with my blade, see if the guidance affects it.
All right, performance check.
So that's a 13 total.
Okay, now add a d6 to that.
A D6?
Yep.
Okay, that's cool as fuck.
So not only did you get a whole new aesthetic, but your magic just got a power boost. Yeah, I'd say that's a win.
All right, Celestia. I've sent you over the changes to your character and class.
Honestly, that's really interesting. I wonder how the power is being transferred. As a demigod, I don't see how his impact could be greater than a greater deity's gifts. The mechanics of it don't make sense.
Make an intelligence check for me, Saxy.
Guidance.
Bardic inspiration.
All right, let's do some math. That's an 18 plus 5 for guidance, plus 7 for bardic, and I'll throw in a flash of genius. That's 35 total.
Holy hell. All right, so, Saxy. As you analyze the mark, your mind shifts into overdrive, thoughts clicking together like perfectly tuned gears. The power transfer doesn't match what you know of divine magic, not even close. Gods like Sune bestow power onto their followers. It's transactional, conditional. Their blessings are granted, tethered, and can be revoked. It's a hierarchy, an arrangement. But this isn't a gift. It's a peace. You feel it, no, you know it, down to your core. This isn't a power being granted by a higher being. It's something far more intimate. Vizuriel hasn't just given Celestia power. He's given her a sliver of himself, a shard of his essence, not bestowed from above, but fused within. Unlike divine blessings, which can be stripped away at will, this is different. It doesn't just belong to her now, it is her. Woven into her very being, inseparable. No chains, no bindings, no obligations, just raw, shared existence.
So, Zuriel didn't just give you power, Celestia. He shared a part of himself. It's woven into you now, fused with who you are. It won't fade if he changes his mind. It won't disappear if he dies. It's not something that can be taken. It is you.
Well, that's certainly interesting to know. I do wonder if I rushed into it a little bit.
Nah, I think you're fine.
Well, shall we start making our way to the Frost Giants then? I don't want to waste any more time on me when Raarh's dad is the one in danger.
So, let me just make sure I understand this correctly. Our plan is to go to these Frost Giants, see if they have any intel on Icehold or any information on the mining expeditions the prisoners are taken on.
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully it's not a dead end. If we're lucky, we'll get something useful.
How do you know all this anyway? You've been alive for what? Less than a day.
Well, when I was born, I was given memories. It's strange. I'm aware I've only existed for a short time, but in my head, it feels like I've lived a whole life already. Does that make sense? Probably not. And anyway, aside from that, I've got the general knowledge of everything you were talking about in the mansion. Zabras didn't just create me with skill. He made sure I knew what I needed to know to be useful.
Oh, so you got the deluxe character creation package. Nice.
Ha! Something like that. Let's just hope I live long enough to make the most of it.
Well, let's move then. We've got Frost Giants to find.
So how do you guys plan on getting there? Walking or flying?
I think we should walk the way through the flatter areas and fly when the terrain gets too rough. We should probably start our search at the top of that cliff, the one Raarh climbed to find that guard. If they pass through there, we might be able to track them.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Well, let's get a wriggly-diggly move on then.
What the hell's a wriggly-diggly move on?
It means move with haste, preferably with enthusiasm, but I understand if that's a bit beyond your capabilities. Oh, gods, I was joking. Was that too much? Was that rude? I didn't mean it to be rude. Will you accept my humble apology? I can say it in a more formal tone if you'd like.
What the hell are you apologizing for?
Because I thought it sounded funnier in my head, and then I said it, and now I feel like I just came out of the gate sounding like a jackass. And I really don't want you to think I'm an ass because, new guy and all, and I want to make a good impression. But now I feel like I just steamrolled right past that into, oh gods, Alden, why are you like this territory? And now
Right. Well, you've got to stop worrying about stuff like that. We banter all the time here. You should see what gets thrown Saxy's way.
You mean like a dick on the forehead?
Yep, like a dick on the forehead. Joe, as we're walking, I'm going to use the sending stone to send a message to Raarh's dad. When is the next time you'll be taken on a mining expedition?
As you channel the magic into the stone, the familiar warmth of the spell takes hold. But instead of a response, all you hear is static, faint, broken, as if the message hasn't reached its destination.
So, what did he say?
Nothing. I didn't get a response. I don't think it's for any bad reason, though. I think he's probably in an area with anti-magic.
Right. Well, it's not like we didn't know that was a possibility.
Okay, guys. So you all continue trekking forward, the crisp crunch of snow underfoot the only real sound for a while. The terrain gradually shifts, from open, flat expanses of ice to more uneven ground, jagged rocks and ridges breaking up the landscape. The cold grows harsher as the wind picks up, biting at your exposed skin as you ascend. To save time with uneventful travel, we'll say it takes a full day of walking and flying, with each polymorpher expending a level 4 spell slot. The sun is beginning to dip behind the icy peaks by the time you land at the top of the cliff, above the place where you fought the Frost Giants. The heavy footprints they left behind are still there, pressed deep into the compacted snow.
Damn, it really is quite cold, isn't it?
Brilliant observation, Alden. What gave it away? The ice? The snow?
No, it's the fact that despite wearing clothes, my chest feels incredibly irritated.
Wait, you mean chafed nipples?
Exactly.
Oh, don't even get me started. That is the worst. Nothing ruins your day faster than feeling like your shirt is made of sandpaper.
You two want to compare battle scars, or can we talk about the fact that we've been traveling for a full day? That means we're running into exhaustion territory if we keep pushing forward.
Actually, it's only been about 12 hours, I think, so we've got another 12 before we really start feeling the effects of that.
Right. But even so, if this meeting with the Frost Giants goes south, are we thinking we'll need every advantage possible? Because what I'm saying is, do we need a long rest? Better to be at full strength before we walk into something we can't walk back out of.
I don't think taking a rest would be a bad idea. I mean, like you said, if we're walking into a potentially very large problem, having an extra level 4 spell in my back pocket wouldn't exactly hurt.
Because, selfishly, I'd be happy to get some rest. My portents after this last rest were right in the middle. And look, they're either amazing or useless. If they're high or low, I can really mess with fate. But middling numbers, straight ass.
Oh yeah, because you're a wizard too, aren't you, Tronald?
Not just a wizard, I'm the wizard.
Well, the wizard, we should probably compare notes sometime. I wouldn't mind spending some time looking over each other's spell books, see what tricks we've got up our sleeves. Might be a thing or two we can pick up from one another.
Not a bad idea, actually. I'll show you what real wizardry looks like.
Oh, real wizardry. Guess I've been doing fake wizardry this whole time.
You mean for the whole day of your existence?
Yes?
You know, if we're resting, I'd actually be really interested to see what you can do already, Alden. I know you've talked about blade singing, but seeing it in action would give us a much better idea of how you fight. And if we're going to be side by side in battle, which let's be honest is going to happen, it'd be good to know how you handle yourself.
What exactly are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that you spar with one of us. All in good fun, of course. First to knock out wins.
Oh, well, I mean, I'd be happy to give it a go if you all wanted me to. I suppose I haven't exactly been in a fight before, while all of you are very experienced in that area. So I suppose it would be as good for me as it would be for you guys. But, who would I go against? What would be the best demonstration?
I like that idea, actually. Could provide some great insight, and I think all of us would be happy to partake. I don't know, just pick who you want to fight. You don't know what we can do yet, and we don't know what you can do, so it's fair either way.
Oh, okay, well, I really don't mind. It would be an honor to fight any of you. But could you, give me a quick rundown of what each of you do? Or maybe like the order you'd place yourselves in terms of strength? I mean, not that I'm looking for the easiest option. Not that any of you would be easy. I just, wow, that sounded bad. That was not what I meant. What I meant was, oh gods, I'm making this worse, aren't I?
Just calm the fuck down, man. Seriously. For yourself, more than for us. Personally, I find your whole, oh gods, am I saying this right thing endearing. But you gotta have more confidence in yourself. None of us are better than the others, and that includes you.
Right. Okay, I'll try.
All right, what do you guys think? Should we give him a general overview of how we fight so he can make an informed decision?
No, I think it'd be way funnier if he just picks someone blind and has to deal with it.
Yeah, I'm with Might. No hints. Makes it more interesting for both people.
Agreed. Plus, this way we really get to see how he handles surprises.
Oh, good. Yes, excellent. Throwing myself headfirst into the unknown. Love that for me.
So then, Mr. Alden, who are you picking?
Hey guys, it's Lewis here, or the AI guy if we're being all formal about it. So, quick update, I'll be putting up a poll very soon for members and patrons to decide who Alden should fight in the next episode. I trust your judgment, mostly. Also, I've just released a brand new video where I break down what makes a great mystery truly great. If you enjoy the storytelling side of things, this one's for you. It'd mean a ton if you checked it out, like seriously. If we can get these videos into the algorithm, it could really help to grow the channel. As always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.
Did he just steal my outro?
Yep, I think he did.